New pair of shoes for the fall season from Brown's Shoe Fit. Now through October 31st, take $15 off any regularly priced fall shoes and boots. Brands like Keen, Oboz, Echo, Taos, and Atrex all $15 off. Some exclusions may apply. See store for details. This is the sale you've all been waiting for, so get down to Brown's Shoe Fit on 66th and Q.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right! Most recommended! Eustace Body Shop!
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Limitless Male says it's all fun and games until your testosterone plummets. Testosterone levels can start falling as early as age 30 with symptoms like no energy, poor sleep, brain fog, belly fat, muscle loss, and mood swings. If this sounds familiar, get your testosterone checked at Limitless Male. We'll get you back in the game with more strength, energy, and confidence. When you feel this good, you'll wonder why you waited so long to get a free consult at Limitless Male. Get scheduled today.
Tune in to Outside the Box from 4 to 5 p.m. for everything you need to know about the Lincoln Stars. Join head coach Rocky Russo and play-by-play voice Alex Byrne as they sit down with special player guests to tell the story of the Lincoln Stars and give you all the news and notes you need from around the USHL. That's Outside the Box with the Lincoln Stars on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Fuhrer's cheese spread. So he left it once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Fuhrer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers. For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, first and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everidge. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker, who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's absolutely no news Monday. There's nothing to talk about. Matt Rhule didn't say anything. He's not a part of any sort of rumor and innuendo, and he certainly did not just have a press conference we're going to react to. Nebraska did not play a game versus Maryland, which came down to a last-minute game-winning drive. None of that took place. What in the world are we going to talk about, Jake?
I don't know. It's kind of a slow weekend, isn't
it? Yeah, if you couldn't tell, it's a loaded show. The fastest hour in radio is back. The Adam Carriker Show. You're going to get unique insight, unbridled honesty. Producer Jake and I are going to have a lot of fun in the process. You're going to hear college football, sports in general, and I went out of order, but that's okay because it's Husker sports as well. It's how we round this out today. Reacting to Matt Rhule's press conference. What did we learn? What did we not learn? What should we think? What should we not think? Minnesota. We play them a day early this week, so we got that coming up sooner than normal. Also, final thoughts and reactions to Nebraska's. When's the last time you you really said this, Nebraska's comeback win. And technically, Michigan State was a comeback, but we had like a 17-point lead in the fourth quarter. So really a comeback win. A game-winning touchdown drive that our offense had to execute and did. And then our defense still had to get off the field. And they did, and they stopped Maryland. Dude, we're like a fourth quarter team now. We're like clutch now. Is this fair to say? Or am I putting the cart before the horse? Do we have to do it versus Minnesota? Do you need to see one more one more possession win game at least? Easy for me to say. Jake, do you just dwell on the second and third quarters, which I'm just going to start taking naps. I'm going to watch the start of the game. Then I'm going to nap through the second quarter, halftime, third quarter. I'm going to wake up for the fourth quarter. Because I very, very much enjoy how we start and how we finish. The middle, although we did score some points in the second quarter this week, the middle part of the game can be rough to watch at times. I think at one point when, we were up 10-0 and, we blew 2 double-digit leads in the same game. Twice we had a double-digit lead and we fell behind. The second week in a row, we've had a double-digit lead and we've lost it. Second week in a row, we came back to win the game. But I think I actually tweeted at one point in the second quarter when we were up 10-0 and then Maryland took the lead 14-10. I think that's what happened. I know they took the lead, took the lead back from us when we had a double-digit lead. I think I texted or tweeted out, I hate the second quarter. It was like one of the most responded to tweets and posts I had of the entire game. I was going to say the second quarter has feelings too, but it doesn't. People and punters and kickers are people. The second quarter is not. All right, lots to react to, lots to talk about. Let's light this candle. It's the noon hour, ladies and gentlemen, here on the Adam Carriker Show, and that means it's lunchtime. The lunch hour of the Adam Carriker Show on the Ticket is sponsored by our good friends at Mulberry Barbecue. Now, with 2 locations at 11th and Cornhusker and 61st and Apples Way, right off of Highway 2 by Lowe's. Both locations are open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Try their burnt-end sandwich, a brisket burrito, barbecue nachos, full slab of ribs, half-smoked chicken, and much, much more. Plus, by the way, they have awesome sides. Get fueled for lunch today or make dinner plans at Mulberry Barbecue, located at 11th and Cornhusker and 61st and Apples Way, just off of Highway 2. And we will be doing an on-location show at some point, once again, here in the near future. Ladies and gentlemen, what's the text number, Jake?
402-464-5685.
All right. Thoughts on the rumor and innuendo. Let's just get it out of our system today. Okay. Get it out of our system. We know what Matt Rhule talked about. We have a clip from the press conference as well from Rhule.
Right.
Is that correct? Okay. So what are your thoughts on the rumors and innuendo of the Rhule rumors to Penn State? How about that? Rhule rumors to Penn State. All right. We'll go through what Rhule had to say at the press conference a little bit here. And final thoughts on the Maryland game in general. Text them in. Jake, you run the show. What do you want to talk about first? You want to talk about Maryland? You want to talk about Rhule, rumor, and innuendo? It's a mouthful.
Well, they're both great topics. We did one-on-one. I never really got to the game. I talked the whole hour with Nick about Matt Rhule. So it is interesting to kind of look at the game too. And, to your point, I think when you were asking earlier, do you believe in the Huskers now in these one-score games or these close games? And I think that there is an angle of that of like, I'm going to feel pretty good and okay if Nebraska's in a close game in the fourth quarter against Minnesota, whereas previously it's like, well, okay, here it comes. I said this, and I think it to be true, though, as well, as they're building this program and getting those wins. It is an interesting angle, though, too, because we saw Michigan State didn't look too good against UCLA. So you kind of question the quality of opponent Nebraska is playing with, and if perhaps they are playing with their food a little bit in these games, because ultimately,
playing with their food.
To us, we're excited about getting over the close game hump.
Yeah.
But from the outside, if you kind of erase that history, it's kind of like, well, they're kind of letting these teams hang around.
All of a sudden, Penn State looks not so unbeatable, and UCLA, they look downright unbeatable at this point. What is going on in the world today? By the way, Northwestern's 4-2 and 2-1 in the Big Ten. Just throwing that out there. All right. Is it weird that if we go up 10-0 at Minnesota in the first quarter, yet we go into the fourth quarter down by 3, I'm going to feel better going into the fourth quarter being down by 3 than I am having a double-digit lead in the first quarter. If that happens, that's just my feelings and emotions as a human being, how I'm going to feel at those points in the game. How crazy is that? Is that a fair way to feel right now when you watch the Huskers play?
I don't know if I'd go that far, but I
No,
get
that's
your
how I
point.
feel.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I get
Sorry,
it.
go ahead.
No, here's the thing, though. From that game, I will say for Nebraska, again, could they have won it by more? Yeah, sure. But, I mean, they went down and scored the game-winning touchdown. How often have we seen that? And so, there are different ways to view it. They lost the turnover battle by 3. Matt Rhule kind of talked about that. But I was just excited about the excitement around the program, going back and saying thanks to the fans. Obviously the Kenneth Williams scholarship. I mean, all that sort of stuff was great, and it gives you great momentum moving forward. Outside of that, as well, is Nebraska's starting to get some weapons here. Emmett Johnson exploded onto the scene, had his best game of the year by far. And Isaiah Hunter broke another one to the house on a screen. Of course, we already know about Ja'Cory Barney. It was kind of going into this year, Dylan Rhule in a cast of guys, and hopefully, some of them will elevate, and they have.
What is it? 18 different guys have a reception on the season, pass catchers, tight ends, running backs. And I think 14 different guys have a reception of 20 yards or more in the season. Think about that. That's crazy. So when you look at some of these guys' individual numbers, maybe it's not maybe it's not as much as you might have thought for some of the transfer portal guys or some of these other guys coming in. But when you think how much we're spreading the ball around, it's not a bad thing, which is why you have to take the team totals into account. And we have one of the top 10 passing offenses in the country and a top 30 offense overall in the country. And, I like the idea of getting the ball to Emmett Johnson more. Isaiah Mosey, we clearly know who our number 2 back is now. It's Isaiah Mosey. Okay. They made their choice. Emmett Johnson is clearly, we already knew he was the number 1 back, but he is clearly the number 1 back, and he's clearly one of the best backs in the Big Ten. And I posed this as a question in the last day or two. I said, I wonder, because the coaches knew. The coaches knew he's clearly our best back. It's a long season. It's a grind. The Big Ten is tough. Do we maybe got to save him a little bit early on? Because, man, they gave him the rock right out the gate versus Maryland. They clearly intended to do so. He clearly knew it was coming because he was making a statement. Our offense was making a statement with running the ball early on. Emmett wanted to make a statement with how he ran the ball. He ran the ball 21 times, averaged over 8 yards per carry. What I say is if you were saving him just a smidge, I mean, when you got games like Houston Christian and Akron, and I don't know how they looked at that Cincinnati game and why Cincinnati's ahead of it. I know. It's because people think that their opinions trumps what happens on the field. It should not. I don't care if it was almost 2 months ago. The game was played. If you're not going to acknowledge what happened on the field, then why play the games? And how important is an AP poll ranking? Not that much. The AP poll isn't very credible, and all that really matters is the college football playoff rankings, but it's just annoying. I'm just going to say it doesn't make sense. I like when 2 + 2 = 4. I don't like it when someone says, hey, 2 + 2 = 5, and here's why. No. It doesn't equal 5. Your lack of logic doesn't make it equal 5. 2 + 2 = 4, no matter how badly you want it to equal 5. Random side, unnecessary, unplanned rant over. My point is simply this. I don't know how they looked at Cincinnati, because going into the season, not a lot of people saw them being ranked at any certain point. I didn't until I watched them on the sideline, and then I watched the game, the pregame warmup, and then I watched the game. I was like, whoa, this team, these don't look like no 5-7 or even 7-5 team. They look pretty decent. So I don't know if they were trying to save him at all during that game. I don't remember him getting a ton of carries. I'd have to go back and look, but my point is, it's time to get him the ball now. Like, these games matter so much. Going to Minnesota, I'm so sick and tired of losing to the team formerly known as the, for some reason, Golden Gophers. Finally, they dropped it, just like the Golden Buffaloes. All the teams I can't stand used to be golden. They finally dropped it. It was unnecessary. My point is simply this. Like, Facebook used to be the Facebook, and then they dropped the. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Kind of like the world dropped MySpace at one point. It's time to get Emmett Johnson the ball. And if you want to fix our short yardage woes, he's not the biggest back in the world, but he runs like a big back. Dante Dowdell a year ago was a big back, a goal line back, a short yardage back, and outside of the Wisconsin game, I never really watched him and said he runs like a big back. He just looks like a big back. Emmett Johnson does not look like a big back, but he runs like a big back. You want to help solve our short yardage and red zone woes? Either come up with a better package for Harburg than what we saw Saturday, or just get the rock to Emmett. And if you've been saving him to a degree up to this point, I kind of sort of somewhat get it. I'm not saying they have. I certainly would have done it against Houston Christian and Akron. And by the way, he sat out 3.5 of the 8 quarters in those 2 games, so I get it. It's time to get him the rock, especially in the situations where we've had issues so far this year. Now, we do need an RB2 to step up. We know who it is, clearly number 2, but we need less of a separation from RB1 to RB2. Not talent-wise, just overall effectiveness-wise, and that'll come with experience with Mosey. All right, the Maryland game. I've talked to so many people who are like, we won the game, but this, but that, but this, but that. Yeah, there's a lot of buts in there. There's a lot of things to say. Hey, this was good, but. I just talked about pretty much half the game, the second and third quarter. Here's my but. The game was sloppy, the game was ugly, but we found a way to win it again. And we are dominating teams in the fourth quarter. You know, Dylan Raiola on the year has 4 touchdown passes in the fourth quarter and 0 INTs. You know, in Big Ten play, he has 8 total touchdown passes and 5 INTs, which is not the ratio you want. 16 touchdown passes to 5 INTs is what he has on the year. That's closer to the ratio you want. That's better than 3-1. He's not quite 2-1 in Big Ten play, but in the fourth quarter when it matters the most, 4 touchdown passes, 0 INTs. He completed 80% of the passes he attempted on that game-winning drive, 81-yard touchdown drive for 72 yards. And he looked like a guy who hadn't thrown a single pick all game versus a guy who was a little gun-shy and scared of throwing a game-losing pick after he'd already thrown 3 and a pick 6. And that's why he played so well. That was one of the best drives the offense had all day. When they needed it the most, they executed it the best in the biggest moments. And that's why they won that game. Then the defense went out. I mean, let's not forget, it was 3rd and 24. Yeah, it was 4th and 24, but it was really 3rd and 24. Like the defense, they never really gave Maryland a shot in their last attempt to try to score. When it matters the most, we have outscored our opponents in the fourth quarter 66-10 on the year. Think about that, Jake. Think about that. Think about Dylan's stats in the fourth quarter. Think about our team stats in the fourth quarter. This team is young. This team's only going to get better. This team may lose a game or 2 that they shouldn't the rest of the year. Or they might just keep finding ways to win, regardless of how it looks. We'll see what happens. Nobody really knows what's going to happen. That's half the fun, is enjoying the ride. Bandwagon fans, stay away. Only stay on board if you're on board to begin with. Don't try to hop on now. And if you're on, don't try to set the thing on fire. Some of us are trying to have fun being Husker fans again. Are you enjoying being a Nebraska fan again?
Oh, yes. This is awesome. This has been a great ride.
All right, so I guess we're going to talk about the Maryland game first. I guess that's how we went. Do we have anything off the text line?
There's a lot.
Okay.
There's a lot just in general. It's hard to really pick a few. I mean, I could pick a few here. Corey in Lincoln says they definitely have been saving him, and he's been the only guy getting carries. That was one of the big concerns after the Cincinnati game was the overuse of Emmett. All that in there, if you remember, he did have 32 touches there.
Okay.
One critique I would have on the field goal. They took the field goal right in order to set up the touchdown, right? Well, some people, coaches in the past, Matt Rhule in the past, would have gone for that touchdown. Emmett Johnson broke off a 50-yarder. Best run we maybe have seen from him as a Husker. Next 3 plays are passing plays. They don't give Emmett the ball again on 1st and goal from the 10.
So I'm glad you pointed out the Cincinnati thing because I genuinely, easy for me to say, did not remember how many times he touched the ball a game. Okay, so they clearly did not save him in the Cincinnati game. I was sitting with people who were like, in that moment, why are we kicking this field goal? Well, first of all, it was a 4th and short, and then we had a penalty, which moved us back.
Yeah.
And I was like, we might convert this, but we need to kick this field goal. Because the odds of us converting this are not great. By the way, won by field goal. I'm just going to say, we won by that, not just that field goal, but that field goal, because it helps make my point, so we're going to go with that. All right, anything else off the text line? And we're going to go to break, because I do want to get to Rhule's press conference and our reaction. We've got like 3 clips to play, and if I flap my gums the whole time, we won't get to any of the clips, although we can always bump the clips to tomorrow if necessary. But anything else off the text line real quick before we go to break?
Okay, I don't want to necessarily be bad news, Buck. The other thing I wanted to address was that you did say the defense Yeah, I kind of like doing it. But you said the defense, did their job. There was that one play where they ended up getting an intentional grounding on it, which really kind of sealed the deal. They couldn't do anything with it. But the player was wide open on the other side of the field. If Malik Washington would have seen him, I don't think Nebraska comes out the winner. And he was wide. He would have walked into the end zone from 50 yards out.
So, yes, my wife's sitting right there and she goes, he's wide open. I was like, yeah. Malik Washington never even looked at him. So I don't think he gets to the end zone. With all due respect, he's a tight end. And there was a safety a long ways away, but he's going to be a lot faster. He had an angle. We probably get him around the 5 or 10. That's just what I thought at the time, and it's what I think now. Your point still stands. He was wide open. Do you know what I felt like watching Maryland from a Maryland perspective in this game? You know what I felt like watching the Maryland team? I felt like I was watching Nebraska from the past 5 or 6 years. The penalties, I'm just going to be honest, the stupid things they did, hitting Dylan the way they did with that late, all the personal fouls that they had more than twice as many penalty yards, 8 total penalties, and missing a guy that's wide open. What team in the country was most likely to do something like that in recent years? Us. So my response is, you make valid points. My response is, other teams are allowed to mess up too. Other teams are allowed to make the same mistakes we've made for so many years and cost us games. And now that we're not making them, we want to point out, well, we would have lost had they taken advantage of it. Well, how many times would we have won the same game, same type of game, had we done it over the years? These are kids. They're kids. That kid was in high school 6 months ago. Maybe he showed up early for winter. I don't know. A year ago, I know that Malik Washington was in high school. That kid's a future first-round pick, by the way. Maryland, throw your checkbook at him. Keep him in town. My point is simply this. You're right. The point stands. But I felt like I was watching Nebraska of years past when I watched Maryland. They made mistakes. We didn't make as many mistakes. We made the right plays at the right time, and that's what we haven't done in the past. And we can be the beneficiary of other teams effing up too. I said it. F-I-N-G. All right, let's go to break. We'll be right back.
Limitless Male says it's all fun and games until your testosterone plummets. Testosterone levels can start falling as early as age 30 with symptoms like no energy, poor sleep, brain fog, belly fat, muscle loss, and mood swings. If this sounds familiar, get your testosterone checked at Limitless Male. We'll get you back in the game with more strength, energy, and confidence. When you feel this good, you'll wonder why you waited so long to get a free consult at Limitless Male. Get scheduled today.
Go hog wild, pit barbecue.
It's $5.99 barbecue time. Hurry to Hog Wild for a complete barbecue meal that's only $5.99. Get a one-meat sandwich loaded with our award-winning barbecue, plus your choice of a classic side and drink for just $5.99. Upgrade your sandwich to beef brisket for just $1 more. Join us for lunch or dinner in Lincoln at 3210 Cornhusker Highway. Order online at GoHogWild.com.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
This is your year, where your team takes it all the way. Win way more than bragging rights at Warhorse Casino, where your love of the game could put $1 million in your pocket. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with prizes all season long. Weekly cash prizes up to $1,000 cash, season-long leaderboards, and a chance to win $1 million. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
The temperature and leaves are falling daily, so that means it's time for a new pair of shoes for the fall season from Brown's Shoe Fit. Now through October 31st, take $15 off any regularly priced fall shoes and boots. Brands like Keen, Oboz, Echo, Taos, and Atrex all $15 off. Some exclusions may apply. See store for details. This is the sale you've all been waiting for, so get down to Brown's Shoe Fit on 66th and Q.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Hay harvest is a race against time. Order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower to harvest your hay quickly and efficiently while promoting quick dry down for quality hay. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year. Contact your local Landmark location for full details on a new self-propelled windrower and experience the Landmark difference.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at gainatrucking.com.
Hi, my name is Molly Party. I'm a realtor with MP Dodge Real Estate. I'm a newly licensed agent and considered numerous brokerages before deciding on MP Dodge. I chose the company that gives me the most support in my new career, plus guidance and encouragement along the way. MP Dodge has a unique mentoring program for new agents. It's helped jumpstart my career and has a supportive management team and administrative staff. So if you're contemplating a career in real estate, look no further than MP Dodge. It will be the best decision you make.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right! Most recommended! Eustace Body Shop!
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks. Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Adam Carriker Show. As a former Husker and NFL player, I'm a little bit of a health nut. Hydration and recovery, they start at home. Team up with Culligan of Lincoln. Soft water means better showers, cleaner dishes, and it protects your water heater and appliances. Their high-efficiency softener cuts salt and water usage. For drinking, added Culligan Reverse Osmosis. It is like bottled quality water right at your tap. Great taste and is certified to reduce tough contaminants like lead and PFAs. Right now, get up to $300 off a whole home system or just $9.95 a month for your first 3 months. Schedule your free water test at CulliganHuskers.com. That's CulliganHuskers.com. Culligan of Lincoln. Water you love. Go Big Red. All right. It's about that time. Matt Rhule, Penn State, rumor and innuendo. I know there's stuff on the text line. Is there anything you want to dive into right away, or should we just play what he said at the press conference today?
We should probably play it again. There's just so much on the text line and comments. it's a lot to dive through.
All right, go ahead. Play that clip there from the press conference.
Yeah, well, I love Penn State. Met my wife there. It's my alma mater. Fan since I was born. I think probably had a Penn State shirt when I was born. I love Pat Kraft. And really sad to see Coach Franklin go. You know, when you think about what he did for my alma mater, you know that program was in peril, right? I mean, the players, if people remember, like the historic sanctions, you could transfer out, you could do whatever you want. Bill O'Brien comes in, stabilizes it for 2 years. James takes over a program in disarray and gives stability, excellence, and to see videos of people like yelling at his kids, and like I just don't understand why in our country, like well now, like coaches are villains. Like, you know how hard I worked in Carolina, and the things that were said to me, or you know how hard I work here, and some of the things that are said, our coaches work here, how hard Sat worked last year. So I'm just really sad about that part of it. And people say, well, you make a lot of money. Making a lot of money doesn't make your kids feel good when they're hearing that. Make a lot of money. It's nice to make a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but still people. So I really respect James Franklin. Troy and I are in unbelievable relationship too. And Troy and I are in constant communication about this program and where we're headed. I came here for two reasons. I love the community here and wanted to live here, and I love it here. And I wanted to rebuild Nebraska football. And, Troy and I understand the steps that you need to take to make us Big Ten champions and national champions. This place is elite. And I want to be a great father, and I want to be a great college football coach. And so, I'm not going to talk a lot about job openings when they come. Maybe it's been a while here, but this is what happens when you win. I've dealt with it. We've won at Temple, and I dealt with it all the time. I've dealt with Baylor. I'm not going to talk about those things ever. I'm not going to talk about my contract here. I'm going to talk about the team. But yeah, I absolutely love it here. And I want us to continue to take the steps needed for us to turn this thing into a beast. And players all across the country want to come here. We have the best facilities. We have elite fans. And, I'm just looking at the future. So, but again, I love that place. I love Pat. I love James Franklin. Sad that came to an end. I wish him the absolute best, but I'm really happy here and excited to get going this week on Minnesota.
There's not a lot to take away. Like, there's nothing definitive there. He didn't come out and 100% say, I'm staying here, I'm not going anywhere. Like, I didn't hear that in there. He didn't say he's been talking to Penn State. And even if that were the case, he's not going to say that anyway. You and I, as we sit here, do we have any idea if he's actually been contacted?
No.
No idea. A lot of speculation. You see all the things out there, and he's definitely like, you see names like Kurt Signetti and Bill O'Brien and Matt Rhule. Like, he's always mentioned. They have an interim head coach right now. Their AD said he's absolutely in contention. They're going to do a nationwide search, as they should. So there's nothing definitive there. Loves Penn State, loves Nebraska, loves the community. Let me put it to you this way, Jake, because there's nothing definitive, nothing declarative. We can sit here, we can speculate. Let me ask you, if you're Penn State, obviously the last couple of games notwithstanding, losing to Northwestern, losing to UCLA. But Franklin was starting to become on the hot seat. What he said about coaches, he's right. Players and coaches are people too. I've sat here and said they're not names and faces that you can cut to lead trade on a video game. Now, I was as hard as anybody on Foley and Satterfield last year. Did I ever once name call? Did I ever once make it personal? Did I ever insult them on a personal level, though, Jake?
No.
No. It's about the job you're doing. I love that our fan base is so passionate, because if you're not, you end up with one of the biggest upsets in your entire program's history, like UCLA over Penn State, and you got 10 people to storm the field. Or you go and you host Nebraska, and you have what? Like legit 20,000 people in the stands, and like 18,000 of them are Husker fans, like at Maryland this past weekend. Like, I love that Husker fans are passionate. Just keep it respectful is all I've ever said. Like, no need to involve wives, kids, no need to make it personal, no need to name call, no need to swear. Passionate. And yes, if you're going to get paid the amount that you're paying, there's a level of accountability that comes with the job. There's a level of accountability that comes with the job. There's a level of accountability that comes with the job, just like this job. People text in and correct me, no problem. You better be right. But if you're right and I'm wrong, cool, no problem. There's a level of accountability. I know what it's like to be held to other levels of accountability, and very publicly as well. And so he makes fair points. I just think a level of accountability with passion and respect is like, I'm not great at math. I certainly was not a math major, but that seems like a fair formula when you're kind of like looking at a coach and the job they're doing and how you react. Does that seem fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, it's always, I mean, I think 90% of fans do
Yes.
all of this, and there's the bad
Yes.
10% that drag it down.
That's fair too. The squeaky wheel, gets the attention, even though the other 99% of the wheel's operating just fine. Okay. So that's fair too. I'm going to pose it to you as a question like this. If you're Penn State, and Franklin kind of really started to be on the hot seat after you lost to Oregon, because they've been to 5 New Year's 6 bowl games, and he did. He rebuilt that program. Bill O'Brien stabilized it a little bit. Franklin really built it up after he left Vanderbilt. The last time Vanderbilt was good before Diego Pavia was when James Franklin was there over 10 years ago. And then they went into not being so great. Then they upset Alabama last year, and all of a sudden they're back on the map. Now, so Franklin did do that, and he's done a lot of things. He built them up to winning 9-10 games every year, top 10 team in the initial college football playoff. Had we had a 12-team college football playoff in the past, they would have been in it like every year almost. Couldn't get over the Ohio State-Michigan hump. They did beat Ohio State, I think, 2014. Had a blocked field goal. They returned for a touchdown. Then I think they were down by 14 to Wisconsin. The Big Ten championship game, came back and won. So they did win a Big Ten title. They did beat Ohio State once. At the same time, Curt Cignetti has beat more top 10 teams in the past month than James Franklin has done in the past 10 years. I saw that as well. So he did a lot of good things. But Penn State, even before the last 2 weeks, was basically saying, that's not what we're looking for. We're not looking for 9 or 10 wins. Michigan, there's already Michigan people talking about, we may let go of Sharon Moore if he only wins 9 games. And if he wins 8, he's definitely gone. So if you're Penn State, and this is what you're looking for, obviously the last 2 weeks notwithstanding, who out there fits that bill? Would you, in your opinion, would Matt Rhule fit that bill? Like, this is a guy who has proven he can do this. He's going to come in with a proven history, and he's going to take us where he's been before, and he's just going to do it again here with really good resources and an amazing backing. Is that how you would veer that, Jake, if you're Penn State, looking at the national search you're going to do and looking at the options that are out there?
Well, I think if I'm Penn State, if I'm anybody, my first call is Curt Cignetti, and that's by a country mile. I mean, that's it. So everybody's, I think, is gonna make that call if you have the opening and can lure him away. Outside of that, there is that's the problem. Big game James didn't win big games, right? And Matt Rhule has lost 17 straight against top 25 opponents. So that's the giant hole in the resume that Matt Rhule has that they're looking for. Would they be able to overlook that, right? The AD and Matt Rhule are friends. They've worked together at Temple before. That goes off a long way. Matt Rhule hasn't had a program or stayed anywhere long enough to where he's favored against top 10 or top 25 teams, right?
Point.
He's always, kind of fighting up. And so, but I'll say this. I mean, if they did hire him, the pressure year 1, year 2 to win those big games when they come around be enormous.
That's a fair point. Do you want that? Now, if you're a coach, you want pressure to win, but there's something to be said for building up a program. Michigan might let go of a coach for something that we once fired coaches for, only winning 9 games. We did it twice. By the way, when Solich did it, we ended up winning 10 games that year. I was on that team. We had an interim coach for the bowl game, but that's Solich's win because he put that team together and coached it all year. We've done it twice. Michigan might do it this year, just so you know. It's been put out there by Michigan fans. Penn State, there was a relative chance that they might do it. We're trying to get to that point. We're at a different spot. Matt Rhule, the pressure here and the scrutiny is immense, but it's different. It's about different things. And frankly, I honestly think he'd be given more grace here, which is crazy because this is one of the most scrutinized coaching positions in America. I would say like Ohio State, Alabama, Texas, Nebraska, as far as scrutinization, it's up there. Pressure is a privilege. That's a privilege. You want that. But it's different than, like you said, you go to Penn State immediately, boom. You didn't win. Oh, no, 10 games ain't good enough. College football playoff ain't good enough. Hey, we got to the Final Four last year, and we led Notre Dame at halftime. No. National championship game. That's the next step. That's the ladder. That's the next rung on the ladder of staircase of success. Easy for me to say. For us, win 8 games. I'm not saying we won't get to the point where, hey, you better win 9, 10. You better be in the college football playoff. But we're building to that. And there's something to be said for building something from the ground up. Matt Rhule does that. I think he takes pride in it. I think, and again, I've said this before, he's really the beneficiary of what happened under Frost, what happened under Riley, because it completely changed the landscape of expectations around here. But you get to 8, 9 wins here, and all of a sudden, people are feeling really great, where it's the opposite. And I don't think that that's a bad thing. You want to be. Pressure is a privilege. You want to be in a place where they expect to win games. But what's realistic? If he's concerned about coaches being treated like humans, which they're not always, that's fair. That's going to be amped up tenfold in Happy Valley. And that's not me trying to keep the man here at all. That's, if I'm looking at it from his perspective, which place gives me the best opportunity to win? They got to be relatively, we got money, we got facilities, we got support, we got a fan base. Happy Valley does too. So that's got to be relatively equal. Okay, what goes beyond that? And it would have been what I just described. There is something to be said for, so I didn't live in Nebraska for about 10 years before we moved back. I love seeing people out and about. If you see me, come up and say hi. I'm big. I'm intimidating. I know that. People are nice and tell me I look like I work out. You're lying, but I appreciate it. Come up and say hi. I love it. It was interesting, though, where I lived before, I never got, hey, you're Adam Carriker. Hey, the Carriker Chronicles. I could go to the store. I might every once in a while get, dude, you're huge. You had to have played football. And I'd respond with, no, I played water polo or something, you know. There's something to be said for coaching in one spot and being able to go home to your alma mater, because if it doesn't go well, he just watched what happened to Scott Frost. Now, he wasn't here for it, but he saw the tail end of it. He was there firsthand under Trev Alberts. In fact, he may be the only one left in the state of Nebraska that knows what really happened. That's what we should be grilling him on. No, it's not. My point is simply this. He's seen it. Does that factor in? Is it nice to coach at Nebraska and be able to go home to your alma mater and there's separation? Maybe that's something he's looking for. Maybe he doesn't care. I had a conversation with him at one point. I bring that up because he actually brought that up to me, and he said that that was nice. Now, that was a little over a year ago, so things change over time. I think for me, if I'm looking at it from Matt Rhule's perspective, I'm like, hey, we got lots of ties here. We like it here. Obviously, I love Penn State. What do you say? He came out wearing the sweatshirt or the onesie of Penn State, something like that. That's awesome. It's nice to have a little bit of separation. Maybe I want to go home. Maybe I don't. He wasn't definitive. But when I look at this, and I'm Matt Rhule, I'm like, hey, we get to 8, 9 wins this year. That's going to be really successful. And that's beyond reasonable at this point with a 5-1 head start to the season. By the way, our new floor is 8-4. Our floor is 8-4 at this point. It was 6-6 to start the season. The ceiling, I don't know if the ceiling has changed, but the floor is different. That's got to be exciting if I'm Matt Rhule. And I was telling you during the break, we might be 1 year away. I'm going to list all these guys, and then you know the answer. You tell me what they all have in common. Dylan Raiola, Emmett Johnson, Luke Lindenmeyer, Ja'Cory Barney, the entire running back room, the entire 3 deep on the D-line outside of Elijah Judy. Then you go to Justin Evans. Then you go to Elijah Pritchett. Then you go, who am I missing? The other tackle. I know his name. The other younger tackle.
Oh, Gatula, yeah.
Gatula. Despite how they played so far, what do they all have in common? Jake?
Underclassmen.
They're all back next year. Now, you got to fight the transfer portal, but there are contracts and revenue sharing, which stabilizes things a lot more. And there's only one transfer portal now. I've been wondering the past couple days, with the way this team has played and the grit and mental toughness they've showed and the talent that we have, yet the ugliness and inconsistency due to the youth, what this team could look like a year from now. Now, the schedule is a little tougher. We play like Ohio State and Oregon and all that. You know what I see? I see opportunities. That's what I see when we play those teams. Pressure is a privilege. Those games are going to be pressure-packed, scrutinized, and that's a privilege, and it's a huge opportunity. Indiana. You think we look at Indiana the way we do today? Unless they have the opportunity to go up to Eugene, Oregon, and mollywop the Ducks? You know that Oregon had 64 total yards the second half. Did you know that Indiana had 3 touchdown drives that were longer than 64 yards in the second half alone? We don't look at them unless they have that opportunity. My point is this. I wonder if we're 1 year away from the Matt Rhule year 3 jump, and it just happens in year 4. And if that's the case, I'm honestly okay and on board with that. You know, I haven't completely bought into the year 3 jump this year. I predicted 9 wins, which is technically a jump. But as far as depending on more than, it's just an easy schedule, and we've been favored in every game so far this season except for one, or we're going to be favored in every game the rest of the year except for one, USC. No. Like, lining up and being able to play with some really, really good teams and not depending on a little bit easier schedule, but saying we're just good. That might be 1 year from now. Thoughts on that? And I know we got to go to break, but this is kind of a hot topic.
Yeah, it is. This is a young team. That's what's kind of exciting about it moving forward, is there's plenty of potential if he kind of gets this together. And that's what you're kind of wondering. And we don't know. What would the expectation in year 1 be at Penn State? Partially depends on how Penn State favors the rest of the season and how big of a interest will there be in Penn State and Matt Rhule. Also depends on the rest of the season. Yeah, there's Minnesota and USC and Iowa in those games as well, but particularly UCLA and Northwestern, who just beat Penn State. And then will Matt Rhule beat Penn State in Happy Valley against an interim coach who might be fighting for that job? So
think about that.
It could be very interesting.
Can we I had a bad joke in mind. I was going to say, can we self-suspend Matt Rhule for that game? No. That was a bad joke, terrible joke. I'm still offended. Anyways, I'm going to let it all go. Did what I say, did it kind of make sense? I was kind of like, I felt like talking in circles, but I felt like I brought it back together and hopefully tied it up in a bit of a bow. Did it make sense to you?
Yeah, there's absolutely a reason to believe that next year's team, if they can hold it together through the portal, should be able to take a jump.
That's what Ohio State did last year. They spent more money bringing players back than they did in the transfer portal. Now, they got Judd kids from Ole Miss, and they got Downs from Alabama. Everybody else they brought back. All those guys that could have gone to the NFL, they brought back. And that's a large part of what Michigan did, not to as much of a degree, but to a degree 2 years ago. And I'm not saying Nebraska would automatically, go win the national title next year, but I'm saying a legit jump, regardless of who we're playing, could, in fact, happen potentially next year. But everything I said before that, the pros and cons, if I'm looking at it from Matt Rhule's perspective to staying versus going, and plus Penn State, what are they looking for? Who fits this? I think you're right. I think Chris Cinetti has to be at the top of everybody's list. No disrespect to every other coach in America. But I think that's fair to say. But did that all kind of make sense too? And what's the text line got to say? And then we better go to break.
We better just go to break.
All
I'll
right.
read through the text line, get some of the response.
All right, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Drink locally and support local business during Lincoln's Craft Beer Week, October 11th through the 18th. Great beer, cider, distillates, and more are made right here in Lincoln. For more info, visit lincoln.org/beer-week. Brought to you by Visit Lincoln. Remember to enjoy responsibly.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get?
Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Hay harvest is a race against time. Order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower to harvest your hay quickly and efficiently while promoting quick dry down for quality hay. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year. Contact your local Landmark location for full details on a new self-propelled windrower and experience the Landmark difference.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right! Most recommended! Eustace Body Shop.
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
Attention all Wings fans, Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O or in Williamsburg Village.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show. Quick shout out to a couple more of our good partners. Hour 2 of the Adam Carriker Show is sponsored by Sweezo Construction, where safety isn't just a policy, it's a promise. Sweezo is hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work in a team that has your back on and off the job site. Apply at Sweezo.com. 40 years strong in business. Sweezo Construction. That's SCHWISOW.com. Also, hour 1 of the Adam Carriker Show is sponsored by Hamilton Telecommunications, bringing you the latest in quality technology and communication services since 1901. Learn more about their residential business and services at HamiltonTel.com. That's HamiltonTEL.com. All right, we're going to save those 2 clips for tomorrow. They're phenomenal clips. All right, Kenneth Williams, getting the scholarship announced by Troy Dannon. Emmett Johnson with a phenomenal clip. Like he's still in pads right out the locker room outside the game. But we'll save those clips for tomorrow. All right, what do you got from the text line? And I see that you're writing with the Minnesota pen. So bad news, Bach. I didn't know you turned into Benedict Bach. In fairness to you, you actually pointed it out to me. So in fairness to you.
Yeah, I don't know how this Minnesota pen got in their office. I was just looking down. I was like, this is Minnesota week. We can't do this.
This is the same guy that wants Iowa and Texas to play in the national championship.
False.
He wants Minnesota to be the guest referees because we do that in football, not just pro wrestling. This is what he's rooting for. No, who do you want? Iowa and who?
Iowa and Minnesota, yeah. Floyd and Rosedale. That game's coming up in a few weeks. I might go.
That would be what? Are you serious? You're going to go to that?
I hope so.
Who does Nebraska play that weekend?
I think Northwestern.
That would be a terrible national title game. Well, we got about 3 minutes here. What do you got off the text line? And I told you to ask me, or you mentioned that somebody asked on the text line, as far as because some people have asked, Dana Holgerson stepping in as the next coach, or who might be the next head coach. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Matt Rhule's our head coach. I don't feel comfortable asking questions about who the next head coach might be, but Matt Rhule's the next head coach. I'll never forget, Mike Riley was the head coach, and a reporter stuck a microphone right in front of his face asking about Scott Frost. And I was like, what are you doing? So for me, we're going to focus on, the rumor and innuendo from Matt Rhule to Penn State's unavoidable right now. But let's focus on Maryland. Then we can focus on Minnesota, and we can focus on Matt Rhule's our head coach and the rumor and innuendo, since that's out there. But beyond that, I don't feel comfortable going beyond that. What else you got from the text line there, Jake?
Well, one thing real quick is somebody did tweet in as well that Brian Callahan got fired from Tennessee. So it's shocking that a member of the Callahan family wasn't the answer.
Wow.
For
wow. Benedict Bad News Buck strikes again.
But a lot of people, I just going to sum it up again. There's so many texts, but a lot of people, it's interesting just to see the way that the response was framed, because I've seen some people say, okay, he confirmed his loyalty to Nebraska. Matt Rhule did. A lot of people on text line not so happy with it. It's saying he, not that they're mad about it. It's just they didn't necessarily go as far as to turn down any speculation for the Penn State job.
So there was nothing definitive. And he said he's not going to talk about it, which is fair. Just like I don't want to talk about any unnecessary speculation that I just talked about either, or referenced, or we've been asked about. I get it. Now, here's the thing. Had he come out and said, like Bill Belichick, I'm fully committed to North Carolina, and North Carolina says, hey, we're fully committed to Bill Belichick. What did I say? I said, translation, what's that mean? We're screwed and it's over. So that's probably how some people would have taken it anyways. But you got to give the people the opportunity to do that. I think you got to come out and just completely shut it down. That's just me. But even if that's, I don't know, even if it's not the truth, people do it all the time. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Because I was hoping he'd completely shut it down because we need to be focused going to Minnesota. This is a game we need to win. We should win unless we're just distracted. For the sake of the team, just shutting it down. And then guys like us could have said, oh, yeah, but it's whatever. How valid is it? But we didn't even get that opportunity. And what he said is perfectly fine. A lot of people would say he said all the right things, and there's nothing wrong with it. But the fact that he didn't come out and definitively shut anything down or anything like that, I don't know. How do you feel about that, Bach? We got like a minute left. So what do you think here? And I'll give my thoughts. We'll get out.
Yeah, well, I said before the statement that there wasn't really anything he could say that I would believe. He said, I'm not interested. So it's like these coaches, it's just tough to because things can change, from week to week, as we've seen with the James Franklin situation. So I don't really have too much of a problem with it. I think if you were particularly like he's had no problem saying all along his affinity for Penn State and he loves it there and how they kind of mold him into a man, all that sort of stuff. But I think it could have been a little bit less complimentary of them, maybe, if he wanted to dial it down. I mean, it would be easy just to say, with all due respect, you could even throw it in there. I love Penn State. I played there, but right now my focus is on Nebraska and Minnesota, so I'd prefer not to talk about that because I don't want to provide a distraction in the locker room. I mean, that could be just as, that would have made me feel a little bit better, I think, about it.
No, you make a fair point. I think for me, I hope to feel better after his press conference. I did. I hope to hear something similar to what we've talked about. And then it would be us to figure out, do we buy it or not? Whatever the case may be. I hope to feel a little bit better. So again, there's pluses. You go back to Penn State, you're going back to your alma mater. I mean, they're rolling, they're winning. Their recruiting class might fall apart. So he'd have to rescue that. Also, there's minuses. Again, he just watched what happened here at Nebraska. Nebraska's a great place, but sometimes it doesn't go as you'd hoped. There's different types of pressure. The scrutiny is probably about the same as Nebraska, Penn State, but different types of pressure, different immediate focuses as you better be working towards a national title game at Penn State. Here, let's get to 8, 9, 10 wins and keep building. We might be a year or two away from that big jump or whatever the case may be. What's your preference? Obviously, they've got roots here. That's kind of where I'm at. Nothing declarative, to be honest with you. I was hoping to genuinely feel a little bit better after his press conference. I don't know. I was hoping to feel a little bit better. I don't know that I feel bad, so to speak. But here's what I'll say. He said all the right things, and I genuinely believe he loves Nebraska. The other thing, how does Penn State view this? What are they looking for? Who fits what they're looking for? Do you think, who out there do you think, if you're Penn State, fits what you're looking for? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back tomorrow. Go Big Red Nose. Remember to throw the bones.
This is Lincoln's home for sports